Today, I'll show you how I transformed a toy Karambit Prime from AliExpress into this one-of-a-kind custom piece using this 10-watt Acmer P1 diode laser. I engraved logos onto its painted handle and blade and even created a custom knife stand from 4mm plywood. All of this using the P1 Acmer so graciously sent me for a review. How tricky was it to pull off this customization? Stick around to find out by the end of this short video. I'm Gergo, and thank you for joining Gergo Print 3D, the YouTube channel about my 3D printing and laser cutting adventures. If you look at all the videos we've made over the past year or so, you'll notice that even when we are testing a new device or material, it always involves some creative, fun project. Today will be no different. And another constant with my videos, you'll get chapter marks and high quality subtitles that translate well into other languages too. Let me give you a bit of background on this project. My little nephew, who has appeared in many of my recent videos, spent a lot of his summer vacation with me in the workshop. We came up with several creative projects together and he was a great help. And I wanted to reward him for his hard work. So I came up with this idea. I noticed one of his favorite games, like it or not, is Valorant. And he's really into training knives. Remember the butterfly knife we printed in a video last year? Recently, we've spent several days trying to print and assemble a knife from Valorant. But it just didn't turn out great. So imagine my excitement when I found a metal replica of this knife on AliExpress for less than the cost of the in-game DLC. This is the toy knife we are customizing as a surprise for him. And this was a perfect project for the 10-watt P1 laser engraver, which we unboxed and assembled together. Acmer also included a 400 by 400 honeycomb bed and an air assist pump, making the base device better for laser cutting as well. Everything was neatly organized in laser cut foam compartments. I was glad to see the included memory card for reliable wireless operation, without the need to rely on the stability of a Wi-Fi connection, which is handy for my use case using these open frame lasers outside on my porch, away from my computer. The 10-watt laser module comes with a magnetically removable shield and the air assist nozzle already installed. The gantry is pre-assembled with V-slot palm wheels on both axes. I like the sturdy sheet metal front and back plates with the company's name proudly cut into them and the clean cable management with the drag chain. The bottom layer in the box holds the aluminum side extrusions, also semi-assembled with the timing belts. Unpacking the honeycomb bed presented the biggest, if not the most satisfying peel of our lives. We neatly organized the components on the table, a stark contrast to the packaging mess around us in the room. No Lego set can compete with the fun of assembling these parts, especially with my little nephew. The build process was mostly uneventful, a testament to the well-prepared parts and organized user guide. Levi was there to stop me when I tried to insert the Y extrusions the wrong way. We quickly corrected it and expertly threaded the timing belt between the wheels and idlers. I also took the opportunity to explain the art of adjusting palm wheels. Check out my earlier video for a detailed guide. Here's a tip not mentioned in the user guide. Remove all the white tape holding the wires before assembling the parts. It will be much harder to remove them later. You know my motto, we make mistakes so you don't have to. By the way, make sure the front and back plates are correctly positioned. Naturally, we install the back on the front first. When assembled properly, the red knob on the tool head mount should face the front panel with the red emergency stop button. Talking about safety features, they also include lock and keys plus internal tilt and fall detection, good for peace of mind. I explained to my little helper how the cable management with the double drag chains is top-notch on this engraver and how much I love the laser height adjustment using this knob and the foldable focus arm when he asked about the little Christmas tree. Thoughtful additions like these greatly enhance the usability of this entry-level laser cutter. Another small tip, plug in the cables before securing the drag chain to the toolhead carriage. We use the zip tie to attach the air pump tubing to the side of the gantry. Even with all the chatting and thanks to the extra set of hands, the whole assembly took less than 30 minutes. After plugging everything in and turning the key, it powered on perfectly. We appreciated how smoothly the wheels moved along both axes. Unfortunately, the air pump isn't controllable from Lightburn as it plugs into a separate power source. I will try to automate it with a smart plug, though I'm not sure if it's possible. Stay tuned for an update. As always, we did the engraving material tests on my porch outside, connecting the device via a long USB cable first and then over Wi-Fi. Engraving on plywood and painted metal cards produced results typical of a 10-watt module. With air assist, it cut 3mm plywood in 3 passes at 400mm per minute, with power set to 100%, again a typical good result. Later, however, when I wanted to run a more thorough cutting test, the laser stopped turning on. It moved, but didn't fire. After some experimentation, I found that disconnecting and reconnecting the laser module would sometimes work, but most of the time the beam just would not come on. This gave me a perfect opportunity to test Acmer's customer service. They quickly diagnosed the issue and shipped a replacement module for me. A minor setback, but a great way to see how they handle support. So we had a brief pause in testing, but I was determined to use the Acmer P1 to create this special gift for my nephew. It's a great project to showcase the wide range of materials this engraver can handle. I'll put the link in the description below to the toy Karambit I got from AliExpress. There are many variants. I chose the full-size option J with the leather cover, which I also planned to engrave. While I did this as a one-off, I could see an opportunity to start an Etsy business customizing these toys for a significant added value. The knife comes in a relatively nice packaging and feels very sturdy. And I was pleased to see that this is indeed a toy knife with no sharp or pointed blades. Can you guess why I'm sprinkling the knife with flour? Since I don't have a backup, I must get the engraving right on the very first try. My plan was to practice on a mock version. The flour dusting allows for 3D scanning of a black and shiny object like this. See my previous video on how else we use this 3D scanner. After scanning, I traced the model in Fusion 360 and exported the sketch in DXF format to Lightburn. In Lightburn, I prepared to laser cut a plywood version of the knife where I could fine-tune the positions of the logos and text. Next, I placed the real knife in the cutout to ensure everything would be precisely aligned, and it worked perfectly on the black side of the Karambit. I even guessed the power and speed settings for the offset wheel correctly based on our earlier tests on painted metal cards, 60% power at 1500 millimeters per minute. I made a minor mistake on the other side. I ran the engraving a second time to darken the Valorant logo, but the knife must have shifted slightly. Still, the end result isn't that bad. Engraving the anodized golden blade required much more power. 2 passes at 100% and 500 millimeters per minute speed to make a mark. If you enjoy hands-on projects like this, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more creative content. Marking the faux leather needed much less power. I used offset fill at just 7.5% power at 1500 millimeters per minute, and both sides turned out beautifully. I found a Karambit stand on Thingiverse, which could be 3D printed, but it's a challenging print in any orientation and customization would be limited. Fortunately, the designer Gamer XY766 included Fusion 360 source files, allowing me to convert it into a laser cut design. I even added logos for my nephew's favorite Valorant team, Leviathan, on the backside. The new laser module in the Acmer P1 did a great job engraving and cutting the pieces. Although the clearances turned out to be a bit loose, nothing a little glue couldn't fix. This was such a rewarding project, made possible by Acmer, and it brought us a lot of joy. If you're looking for a reliable and well-equipped entry-level laser engraver to take your creative ideas to the next level, or even start a mini customization business, the Acmer P1 is a very capable tool. Its sturdy frame, precise motion system, and high build quality make it a solid choice. Plus, features like the leveling knob, foldable focus arm, included drag chains, Wi-Fi connectivity, and robust safety features make it stand out from the competition. Check the links in the description below to pick the accessory package that suits your needs. You might find some coupon codes there too. Thank you for supporting this YouTube channel by watching my videos to the end, liking and subscribing, and a special thanks to my very first supporters on Ko-fi.com, Vlad for his generous one-time support, and Ole Urgast for becoming the very first sustaining member. Your support allows me to focus on creating content that you care about. In the next video, we return to 3D printing with the new nozzles on my SVO8, but I've also ordered various cylindrical items from AliExpress to try engraving with a rotary roller. We'll dive into all of these in upcoming videos. Until then, check out my palm wheel tuning video mentioned earlier, or that 3D printed training knife and other fun crafts I've done with my little nephew. Remember, creativity knows no bounds. So, go print 3D, and maybe I can get you laser engrave a little too. See you next time.